Hi friends, today we'll discuss about the concept of inclusive growth and issues arising out of it, which is in GS 3 paper. First, in order to understand the concept of inclusive growth, let's understand what growth is. Growth can be either positive or negative. Means growth necessarily doesn't mean that it is in the desired direction. So growth is neutral term. When it comes to development means growth in the desired direction. So when it comes to inclusive growth, it means the growth process is benefiting all the stakeholders in society, especially vulnerable sections. Hence, inclusive growth means that a growth which benefits all the stakeholders in the society. So when we say all the stakeholders in society, there may be various castes, there may be various religions, there may be people from different regions, there may be people who speak different languages, races, etc. Also, there may be people of various classes. So all these people are the stakeholders in the society. But here we are more concerned about vulnerable sections of the society who are inherently liable to be left out of the growth process. So here we can see women and children, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, poor and illiterate, old and diseased. These are the vulnerable sections, some of the vulnerable sections of the society whose needs should be taken care of by the growth process. Now, when we say a country is having economic growth, it earns money, means it becomes prosperous. India is becoming prosperous. Now we are the third largest GDP by PPP. So in order to ensure welfare of people, there can be two approaches for ensuring that all stakeholders benefit from the growth process. One approach is income redistribution approach. In this approach, government through taxation continuously redistributes money in the form of welfare schemes. The problem with this approach is it should be regular and it does not ensure sustainability, because people will continuously depend on these schemes and government's role needs to be regular. So we can take the example of MG Narega scheme, whereby people are offered 100 days work and it continues year on year. Coming to the second approach of inclusive growth, here in an economy, economic opportunities are generated. Means The growth process will generate enough economic opportunities for all stakeholders, and what the society does is it builds capacity of all stakeholders to access these opportunities. So when their capacity is built, all the stakeholders can access the economic opportunities, and hence this approach is sustainable because these all the people will feed for themselves, and their accessing of economic opportunities creates more opportunities for others. So it is a sustainable cycle. Now coming to the types of inclusive growth. See, normally we say growth here means economic growth, but when we broaden the concept of economic growth, we get these four types. Coming to political growth, here inclusiveness means all the stakeholders should have equal chance to compete for political offices. This has been theoretically ensured by our constitution through reservation, and also now we have 50% reservation for women in local bodies. But in reality, our society is not fully politically inclusive. Coming to economic and financial inclusion, we have spoken about this in the previous slide. Economic inclusion means all the stakeholders have the capacity and accessibility of for economic opportunities. Economic and financial inclusion can be ensured through education, health, skills, credit facility, entrepreneurial support, infrastructure. So when people have all this, definitely they can access the economic opportunities, and thereby they can create more economic opportunities in the society. Social inclusion means the primordial loyalties like caste, religion, language, etc. They do not become as a hindrance for anyone to prosper in the economy. And when it comes to cultural inclusion, it means that traditions, customs, etc. should be acceptable by all but not forced from above, like Brahmins did previously. Now coming to the issues of inclusive growth. In order to achieve inclusive growth in a society, the society should be able to handle all these issues which arise out of our efforts towards inclusive growth. The major issue that acts as a hindrance for inclusive growth is poverty. Poverty breeds poverty because it is a cycle. A poor person does not have the resources to access education, to have good health, to develop skills, and also children of poor people are obligated to work at young age for family support. So they in turn will become informal workers, thereby remain in poverty. So poverty reduction is the main issue regarding inclusive growth. Also education and literacy. India is going to be a knowledge society where jobs are dependent on education and skills. So without this, there cannot be access to employment opportunities. Hence, inclusive growth is not possible. Another important issue with regard to inclusive growth is health. Only when people are healthy, they can achieve their true potential. But in India, close to 45% of children are underweight, and similarly malnourished. Hence, without proper health, a person cannot achieve its true potential. He can't be educated, he can't be skilled, and he can't work for more number of hours. Hence, he becomes a burden on society. Another issue is skill development. For this, government has created a policy of national policy of skill development, Skill India Mission. In India, at present, the problem is not education, it is skill development. Though people are educated and many are graduates, they do not have skills. They do not have skills demanded by market. Hence, only if their skills are developed, they can get jobs. And most important for inclusive growth is generation of employment opportunities. When there are no jobs in society, how can growth be inclusive? The growth process should generate more jobs. Process should generate more jobs. Then capacity can be built of people to access these jobs. Coming to infrastructure, infrastructure is like a bridge. Infrastructure is like a bridge between human resources and market. Without infrastructure, humans cannot be converted into resource. Also, without infrastructure, jobs cannot be generated because growth depends on quality infrastructure. So, infrastructure is one of the important issues of inclusive growth. Hence, these are the this this is the concept of inclusive growth and the issues arising out of it. This video is only a preliminary video for conceptual understanding. This is to be complemented by factual data and current happenings.